Imagine a room where money is born. Not metaphorically, literally born. Massive steel machines roar like mechanical dragons. Giant rolls of cotton linen paper glide through presses worth millions of dollars. Ink worth more than perfume gets stamped with microscopic precision. And somewhere in that room, a dollar bill takes its first breath. But here's the strange part. That dollar already owes someone something. Before it even enters your wallet, before it buys coffee, before it gets crumpled in your pocket, it has already been counted, tracked, and scheduled to die. Today, we're going to follow the entire life of a dollar bill, from its birth in a government printing facility to its chaotic life in the economy, all the way to the moment it gets shredded into confetti. And along the way, we'll uncover something strange about money, because the dollar's life cycle reveals a secret. Money is not really wealth. Money is movement. Let's begin. Where dollars are born. Every year, billions of dollars are born in a place that looks more like a sci-fi laboratory than a mint. It's called the Bureau of Engraving and Printing, or the BEP. Two facilities exist in the United States, Washington, D.C., and Fort Worth, Texas. These factories produce roughly $7 to $9 billion banknotes per year, not coins. Coins are made by the U.S. Mint, but paper money, the famous green bills, are born here. Now here's something most people don't know. Dollar bills aren't made of paper. They are 75% cotton and 25% linen, which means your dollar bill is technically closer to a tiny piece of clothing than a sheet of paper. That fabric blend makes it durable enough to survive the chaos of human pockets, wallets, vending machines, and laundry disasters. Each sheet printed at the BEP contains 32 notes. Massive presses layer the bill with specialized green ink, security threads, watermarks, microscopic printing, and serial numbers. That serial number is important because once a bill receives it, it officially enters the financial bloodstream, like a newborn receiving a birth certificate. The Federal Reserve, money's gatekeeper. Once printed, the bills don't immediately enter the economy. First, they go to a powerful institution that quietly controls the flow of money, the Federal Reserve. Think of the Fed as the heart of the financial circulatory system. The BEP prints the bills, but the Federal Reserve releases them. Banks request physical currency from the Fed when customers withdraw cash. So when you go to an ATM, you're pulling a dollar from a pipeline that started at a government printing facility. But here's the twist. Most dollars are never printed at all. About 90% of all U.S. money exists only digitally, numbers on computers, which means physical dollars are really just the tip of the iceberg, like seeing a few fish while an entire ocean swims below. Enter the economy. Once released, a dollar begins its unpredictable life, and its journey is chaotic. A single dollar might go through a coffee shop register, a taxi driver's pocket, a church donation basket, a casino table, a child's lemonade stand. A famous study called Where's George tracks dollar bills through serial numbers. Some bills travel thousands of miles. $1 printed in New York might appear months later in California or even overseas. Cash moves fast. Economists call this the velocity of money. It measures how frequently money changes hands. High velocity equals strong economic activity. Low velocity equals economic slowdown. Which means every dollar is like a tiny worker running laps around the economy, buying, selling, trading, moving. The same bill might facilitate hundreds or even thousands of transactions before it dies. Not bad for a piece of cotton cloth. The secret life of money. Now here's where things get strange. Money is constantly disappearing, not from theft, but from wear and tear. A dollar bill lives an average of 6 years for a $1 bill, 5 years for a $5 bill, 10 to 15 years for higher denominations. Why the difference? Because lower bills move faster. A $100 bill might sit quietly in a safe. A $1 bill lives a dangerous life. Laundry machines, street vendors, sweaty wallets, children folding them into airplanes. Eventually, they tear, fade, or become unrecognizable. And that's when the Federal Reserve calls them back. The return to the Fed. Banks constantly send damaged bills back to the Federal Reserve. Inside Federal Reserve processing centers are machines that inspect thousands of notes every minute. These machines scan bills using infrared sensors, optical recognition, and thickness detection. The machine decides instantly, fit for circulation or destroy this thing. Roughly 1/3 of all returned currency gets destroyed each year, which brings us to the dollar's final chapter, the execution. When a dollar is declared unfit, it is shredded. Not gently. Industrial shredders turn bills into tiny fragments. Each piece is smaller than a grain of rice. In the past, these fragments were burned or buried. But today, something more amusing happens. Some shredded currency gets recycled into souvenirs. You can literally buy a bag of destroyed U.S. money. Imagine explaining that to a pirate from the 1700s. Yes, Captain, the government shreds treasure for fun. The strange philosophy of money. Now step back and think about what we just witnessed. A dollar is born by a machine, released by a central bank, used thousands of times, worn down by human activity, then shredded and replaced by a newborn dollar ready to start the journey again. Money never truly rests. It circulates, like blood, like energy, like stories passing through human hands. And now you know the secret life of the dollar. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the hidden world of money, comment "Follow the Money" and subscribe for more stories where economics, science, and hidden systems collide. Because the deeper you go down the rabbit hole, the more you realize the world runs on invisible systems most people never see. And once you see them, you can never unsee them.